all done with 232. Let's talk about your final. When is your final? Next week. So remember, your finished lab tomorrow. Lab's all done. Greg will send me your lab grades. I'll put them on engraved when he arrives. He'll get some to me. Then all you got left is your final exam. So next week, Friday at 6 p.m. in here with me. Right? Same old, same old. So here's the final exam. It'll be similar to your other test, just longer. I actually haven't written the one for you yet. This is the one from last year. So what I'm telling you is what's likely. Don't yell at me if I change a question. I got 3 other finals to write. So you're last on the list. Sorry. Okay, but let's go through what I'm going to ask you about. On the first page, I have some brain damage questions. Remember that? That was this term. Right? It seems ages ago. On some of them, I gave you the symptom. You have to tell me the part. So Jonathan can't talk, blah, blah, blah. And the other ones are the reverse. I gave you the part, you have to give me a symptom. So is it right, left, blah, blah, blah. So brain damage, part versus symptoms. Okay. I have a question on the limbic system. That's the amygdala, hippocampus kind of stuff. Right? Specifically. And I had 3 questions on the cranial nerves. Thou shalt know name, number, type, and what they do. Remember those? Hope so. Not, I'll just take 3 points off. Bless you. Bless you, bless you.
Some of this peanut butter.
I had that's good. I had 2 questions on CSF flow last year. See it too. It might change, so don't freak out if it's 1. But CSF flow, how the CSF gets where it's going. I had 6 questions on the autonomic nervous system. So parasympathetic versus sympathetic, the symptoms, which receptors are used, long or short, if I block this, if I turn on that, all that fun stuff. Would your heart beat faster, slower? You know how this is going to work, right? I had 4 questions on vision. So how do you see? Rod versus cone, dark versus light, blah, blah. And I have the same number on hearing. So what are the steps to hearing? What does your eardrum do? What did these do? I had 2 questions on balance. How does balance work, or how can I mess up your balance? The otoliths and the dynamic. Right? So how do you do it, and how can I screw it up? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 10 questions on the hormone chart from hell. You knew that's coming, right? Anyways, you know it's coming. So thou shalt know type and source and target, action, if it's high or if it's low. Right? And I have 2 questions on the releasing tropic worker kind of regulation. So if this one is high, that one's low. If this one's low, that one should go high. Whatever that kind of stuff. The one that you loved so much in the graph at your last test that you cussed me out about. So it's not a graph on this one. It's a bunch of boxes. Right. All right, so hormones and how they're regulated. All right, I have 3 questions on how you make blood cells. The RBC count. So what would make you have more blood? What would make you have less blood? Jonathan's a smoker who lives in Denver. What would you expect to see? I have a bilirubin / jaundice / liver kind of question. So how do you get rid of old blood? I have a transfusion question. What blood can I give to you if you have this and this? What blood can this person receive? Then, of course, I have some clotting questions. Thou shalt know the clots, intrinsic, extrinsic, in order. Roman numerals only. Right? So, thou shalt know that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I have over 10 questions on blood flow through the heart. So you're a drop of blood. Walk me through. If this chamber is contracting, this valve is doing what? If you're here, you're going to be red or blue. Are you pulmonary or systemic? Are you going out or are you going in? All that kind of logic. I have 3 questions on the cardiac cycle itself. So when this chamber is contracting, what's the blood doing? What's this chamber doing? Is pressure going up or down? Now I have 2 EKG questions. What happens in a P wave? What happens in a QRS? And no, I did not include the giant graph that you really hate me for. I might though, but I didn't last year, right? So I don't think I will. Once was enough. Right. I have a venous return question. So what does that mean, and what would affect that? So what does that have to do with anything? I have 4 questions on long-term blood pressure. Notice I said long-term. That's the RAS stuff, right? People will walk me through that. I have actually a couple lymph questions. So what is lymph? Where does it go? What's it for? Your lymph nodes are big. I have an inflammation question. What is that? And I have, egad, a whole page of questions on the B cell and T cell steps that were over there. Thou shalt be able to give me those in order, thou shalt. So walk me through the 2019 steps of B cells and T cells. So walk me through that. I have a specific vaccine question. So explain how those work. I have 2 questions on the antibodies thou shalt know. IgA, IgD, so thou shalt know that table, thou shalt. Last page. I have 2 HIV questions. So just to clarify, I'm not going to ask you, what is in step 5. So you don't have to memorize like the steps. Be able to walk yourself through how the virus replicates and how this affects immunity. Right? So don't memorize each step by number. Understand the steps of what was happening. Does that make sense? So I'm not going to ask you to quote step 7, but can you give me steps on that page in order?
And like down to the specific enzymes and everything, or just kind of?
It could happen.
Okay.
Maybe not. That's how I feel. I'm feeling angry. No one says thank you. I'm just going to give it to it right now. And then I have a flu question. So can you walk me through this whole flu thing of why you get flus every year? And that's what I had last year. So again, it's going to be tweaked a little bit. I got some other files to write, but it should be similar to that. Can't guarantee it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.